Good day, everyone, and welcome to my second recap of a Battle of Five Armies game. The first recording caught up on interest, and I got actually several questions to make a little bit more introductory, a little bit more basic video. So I will try to do this again. I will try to avoid quoting rulebook and quoting basic rules, but still I will try to focus on the most basic stuff and maybe do some revision of ordering or things and basic approaches and basic strategies. This is a game versus HicSuntLeones. Leons? Okay, I'm actually pronouncing his nick for the first time, so I'm not sure how to do this, but we played number of games. He is a very persistent player, quite eager to try stuff and to learn, so it is really cool to see. And I think he got a little bit inspired by my shadow player influence, you may say, and wants to try his strength as shadow player too. So I will play three people here, and he will play as shadow. This is a game we played like a year ago, maybe less. So I don't even remember exactly what happened. So it will be exciting for all of us here. I hope. Yeah. Okay. So first round, each round three people can activate up to three generals. You start with four to choose: Bard, Dane, and Gandalf with Tandril together. Each of these generals can be activated and then use their activation ability. Each of those generals have two abilities. Dwarven, they're like humans and dwarves, and elves, like allied to factions. So I don't know, human and dwarves, dwarven, humanish, non-elven factions. Both has one of the uses of activation is to put a recruitment token in camp, so three people can build armies here. So camp is very strategic, very important location for three people because they can build armies here. And if shadow don't pressure three people for too long, simply three people can out recruit shadow, which is interesting because this game is in not as clear militarily unbalanced as War of the Ring, where okay, Shadow has like a big resources and three people have barely any resources to just slow them down. So so I always start with activating three generals because I don't want to rely on randomity. What is random I will mention later. I just want to have the widest strategic decisions and to be able to recruit as much as possible early to hold off to shadow armies. And Tandril also has the ability to either put an elven recruitment token in Fallen Breach or to make an archery shooting attack, which I will not be telling now. We will go to that when it will happen. Then you pick the number of leadership tokens equal to the number of generals activated. So the more you activate, the more leadership tokens you have, and put them on three different armies. So I put one in the dwarven veteran here. This is like the less, you can say, standard strategy, because usually I think the basic approach is to move this dwarven veteran to Eastern Spur, to don't leave your strongest soldier just hanging around for the taking, but instead hide him in Eastern Spur to bulk up and make it costly to take. It's not like you can, if Shadow will pressure the Eastern Spur, he can take it anyway. It's not like This is a location you can defend, but at least maybe you can kill a lot. One is in the valley here, those archers, so I can either hide them to Ruins of Vale or maybe deal some damage when Shadow will try to cross the river. And one elven here, maybe I will want to consolidate him to Fallen Bridge, because early as 3 people you have actually decent number of tokens and decent number of recruitment power and decent number of soldiers. It's just all of them are very spread up. And as Shadow, you can consolidate like those armies or those like recruit ones, and you can already start attacking and moving. So that's the difference between Shadow. Shadow has like is more consolidated. So I put 3 leadership tokens. Leadership tokens work similar to leaders in a sense that they don't increase your combat power by the number of dice. Also, they don't take damage. It's just they give additional rerolls and allow armies to be moved with character die. And this is very strong because character dice allow you to fast reposition, because you can move 2 tiles instead of 1. And it makes your maneuver cards more consistent. What does it mean? We will go when there will be battle, and trust me, there will be a lot of battles, because this is battle of 5 armies, not not battle or just stay and do nothing. Okay, so these are the decisions that 3 people make, and then Shadow draws so-called fate tokens equal to the 1 by 1 equal up to the number of activated generals. So first Shadow player pulls up 1 token, decides if he wants to keep it or if he wants to redraw. If he wants to redraw, he pulls second. If he wants to redraw, he can draw third and last. There may be strategies where 3 people try to activate only 1 general, so Shadow doesn't have the ability to redraw, but it can be random. Sometimes Shadow draws beneficial tokens for them at the first draw, and you lose the general activations anyway. So, and leadership tokens. What are fate tokens? So I type here fate 3, so to be clear to the Shadow player that I activated 3 generals, so he knows that he can draw up to 3 tokens. First token he draws is 3, which is like the highest and usually you can consider the worst token for Shadow. This is the fate track. You stack the fate points from fate tokens on the fate track, so if he kept the 3, the fate would have went here. And whenever fate track token is on the same spot or further spot than 3 people character, that 3 people character can be recruited with character die and put up on the board. And each of these characters are actually very strong and very powerful. So this is like a clock ticking for Shadow, that whenever these characters come into play, 3 people get big help and big power spikes. So Shadow wants to get some advantages before they come in. Stacking up to 6 points is actually very slow because you quite often draw once. But even Bilbo can soak up to 6 damage, and having armies with that little bit more of health, a little bit more of resilience, can really turn battles around. And there is a thing, 2 additional rules about fate track is that whenever 3 people go up to 15 or 16, I don't remember because it never happened to me, fate, 3 people win the game. So this is like the intention that if the game drags too long, the 3 people win, but it actually never happened to me, because if really 3 people will be able to get through all these characters and get so late in the game, usually it means that Shadow player literally runs out of soldiers and literally cannot win. And the second thing is that when Bjorn joins the game and Shadow player has, if I remember correctly, less than 6 points, 3 people win on the spot, and sometimes that happens. This is in a sense like mercy win if shadow player didn't manage to uh, get too many points that late into the game. This is like a rule that says, you know what, Bjorn comes and just tides everything up. So sometimes three people can pressure shadow player and defend desperately, like to the number of points, and then call for Bjorn. So okay, the higher the number, the better for three people, because not necessarily about the final win, but the faster you get your characters. But he gets a redraw, so he draws for one with the card symbol. It is in Gandalf like system, it is called 1C because of the one card, which means that fate goes only by one. So my Frodo is not Frodo, Bilbo is not unlocked, and I, as a free people, get to draw a card, a fate card with unique special fate deck. So we adjust here the fate, and I draw the fate card. The cards refer to, they simply make stronger Thorin, Eagles, and Bjorn. And I drew one of the better cards in my opinion because it buffs Thorin, and Thorin is the first one to appear, so has the highest chance to have the biggest impact for the longest time. And it is really strong because Thorin will add 2 to combat strength and to leadership of his army. So if he is alone with dwarven veterans, one soldier with Thorin is actually very scary army already, which is very funny. Okay, so but well, it just hangs in her. It will have effect only after Thorin is recruited. So then, after drawing the fate tiles, shadow player picks the number of bat tokens and leadership tokens with equal number to number of dice he has, which is usually just 6. So usually shadow players split this up for free, so 3 bats and 3 leadership tokens. Let's see what shadow player will do here. Yes, he has put 3 bats, 1 in the valley and 2 in the in the bank. Maybe he wants to withdraw some money, and 1 leadership token in 3 different armies. Bats are very flexible, very important and powerful shadow player tools because they can allow for shadow player to change master die into a movement for one army in the region. So this is like mechanism that if you get some quote-unquote bad roll with too many master dice, it's not like, oh, you lost a turn, maybe you lost a game because of that. It means that you have tools to prevent bad rolls, which is actually very cool. And also they're extremely strong. I have extremely strong combat maneuver card. So basically, bats are the flexible shadow player tools that indicate, okay, these are the parts where shadow player can attack the strongest, let's say. So yeah, and then we roll a dice, not a die, dice. We roll dice. I got nice flexible roll. I got 2 C die to consolidate my armies. Will of the West that can be used as anything, and 2 recruitments, so I can recruit, I can move, I'm happy. Shadow player can also do quite a lot. 2 eyes means like shadow can, let's say, have 2 basic round turn 1 plays. One is to get some army fast and start messing with 3 people round 1 before 3 people will gather their armies and recruit enough, or have a little bit slower, just gather few armies, or maybe like gather some strength and have big stronger punch turn 1. Usually in my mind it is that shadow should attack in waves. You shouldn't try to like win the game with first wave of your armies because it is next to impossible, I would say. But first wave, which is 1 or few armies, are, for example, to get to the valley that enables recruiting bulk, which is extremely strong character, and killing as many free people soldiers to prepare the next invasion, right? So free people always start first, so have the initiative and have one die less and can pass. So let's see what they do. I use character die to move the dwarven veteran into Eastern Spur, which makes sense because again, if I didn't do that, maybe Shadow player would be able to like stop me in the tracks, don't allow to consolidate the armies, and then I would have really weak Eastern Spur single soldier here, and like my soldiers would be picked one by one. So this is very standard move. What does Shadow do? Shadow uses hybrid die to do what? To move two armies. Okay, maybe a little bit inconsistency. He would be able to use army die for that, so I used hybrid, but I don't think it is a big of a deal. He will probably move armies again this turn anyway. So army die works actually exactly the same as in War of the Ring, which is you either pick any two of your armies and move them one spot, or you choose your army to attack. Attack works a little bit differently because you don't just attack neighboring army, you can move one space and then attack. So attacking here has much further range, is much more, let's say, fast and flexible. This is like much more combat-y game in this sense. So he had two armies with one leadership token, and he consolidated them into one army of 5 soldiers because 5 soldiers is the limit here in this game. Apart from shadow mastering regions, you cannot have in one spot more than 5 soldiers, and he consolidated his 2 leadership tokens, so if he will fight, he will have 2 rerolls, which is good. And he has 2 great orcs and 3 orcs, which is very respectable army. Great orcs can be, it is not exactly the same as elite in War of the Ring, but they are overall like stronger in many sense. Now what do? I use Bard, so I'm using Bard as general, his ability, because I activated him at the beginning of the round, and I can choose. I either pick any Northern recruitment token, like Northern, which is dwarves and humans, and flip it instantly for some fast recruitment. So this is very fast ability when I think that I need to act fast, I need some fast help. Or the second one is I mentioned before, I place a recruitment token in a camp, so it can be flipped in the future. And I use hybrid die as a master. Master die is reworked here. It allows a player to do what I'm doing here, which is it has actually a few usages, and this is very important die and a very strong die, which means I can pick any 2 of my recruitment tokens that are not in the same region. So I cannot like pump up soldiers in one spot. I need to do that for multiple rounds, and just flip them. And the token shows what soldier I put in that space, and that token is then removed from the game. So if you can see, there is a limit of how much tokens you can recruit in the game. It is very rarely depleted, but it can sometimes happen, especially for the Northern Free People Force, because if you are pumping those soldiers to each turn and maybe use some event cards, then those tokens can really be depleted. So I got 2 Lakemen, one here, to further improve my strength. And so Shadow notices that Eastern Spur is the strongest it can get probably for now. I have 3 soldiers and 2 Lakemen, and 1 is Dwarven Veteran, which is like the elite, let's say, the equivalent in Battle of Five Armies elite, which means that he rolls 2 dice, not 1 die. So despite the fact that I have 3 soldiers, I roll 4 dice in combat. and I have Bard and leadership tokens, so I have quite a good number of leadership tokens, quite a good number of dice, so it is quite difficult for Shadow player to take it because it is a fortification of the strength 3. There are 3 fortifications: Front Gate, Eastern Spur, and Ravenhill. These are strong defensive positions. Like when going into detail, what does it mean will go when it will matter. So yeah, Shadow player slows down and plays I die. I die is very strong die here actually. It is slow, it is specific, but very strong. So Master Die, remember, allowed to flip 2 tokens on the map, which is quite restrictive to the tokens you have, and if you don't have tokens you cannot even flip them. I token is just put 2 goblins into 1 goblin here and 1 goblin into here. So this is very specific recruitment, but it isn't limited by tokens. So you, in a sense, may have infinite number of goblins. Obviously, like, you're limited by the game time, but you can pump those up. You don't need to prepare tokens or anything. You just pump those goblins, and those goblins start very close to the battle and very close to the crucial 3 people defenses: camp, front gate, fallen bridge, Ravenhill. Sometimes your armies from this far distance go attacking and fighting, and they're really far from their allies or any reinforcements, but those goblins can come up and join very quickly. So goblins are very strong. Despite their being, like, in a sense, the weakest soldiers, they can be very useful. And this is one of the uses. This is the eye is specifically goblin die. I'm not quite sure why goblins are specifically associated with the eye. Maybe these are specifically some Mordor orcs. I don't remember the Hobbit fluff that well. But so yeah, as an eye, you put goblins here, and if you have 5 soldiers, these locations are locked. You cannot move out of here, but if you have 5 soldiers in here, any type, like you can sometimes add something here through recruitment cards, the passage is opened and you can move those soldiers. So as a 3 people, I know that for now those armies cannot move from here, but if there will be 5 soldiers, they can. So one of the basic usage of the eye token is to place those two goblins, but also it can be used on an army die regarding armies with goblins. So you can move 2 armies containing at least 1 goblin, or move an attack with an army containing at least 1 goblin. So if you have goblins, this is like a goblin die. Very slow in the first rounds, but then when you gather some strength, they can be very useful. So again, as a 3 people, as usual in these games, you have less dice than Shadow. So this, I realized, you know what, I want to keep my flexible ability. I don't want to expand too fast. I want to see what Shadow is doing, especially that Shadow is doing like his type of a pass, which is playing ice. Like, he's not progressing anything on the map, so maybe he wants to wait me out, so I pass. And yeah, standard play, I would say. So if Shadow sees that I don't rush anything, why would he rush something? He wants to wait out. He wants to wait out and see what happens, and he plays an eye to put more goblins. So 1 more eye, and here will be 5 goblins and 4 goblins. This passage will be open, and those goblins can move. So now I use the master die. You know, as a 3 people, you don't have you have much more agency, but still this is defense game. You don't need to be rushing out and attacking. You still want to defend. So I use the time that I have, and I use again the hybrid die as a master to flip 2 tokens. 1 3 people token and 1 this token. I see. So now Shadow used a C die to double move his strong, powerful army. So this is fun. This is what I mentioned before, that character dice are strong, are not like weaker version of army dice. They are strong die here. Sometimes you want to have army dice to move multiple dice. Sometimes you want to have character die to move one specific army. And here Shadow Player used the die to make double move and just penetrate my region. I'm not feeling comfortable being penetrated. Okay, so yeah, so he moved here, which means that he can use these two dice. He can, with one die, for example, go here, attack here, and then recruit bulk. With master die, he can move one army and this army here, and then threaten multiple attacks. He may try attacking Eastern Spur, but Eastern Spur is right now quite difficult to take, so I don't know if he wants to bleed out his army. So in response, what do? I use Dane as general to put down a token and recruit. So yeah, recruit. I see big army incoming, so I want to have some army myself. I didn't get Dwarven Veteran, unfortunately, but you know, you don't always can count on those. And I have a very weak small army in here that doesn't have much chance against this one, but this one, you know, can survive, can take some hits and maybe retaliate later. So Shadow Player HicSunt uses another army die to further progress with his armies one step here, and then he prepares his back armies here to consolidate here, so he has second army waiting, right? Seeing that, I use character die to move those soldiers here, so I don't want to have two small armies that are rolling only two dice and die fast. I prefer to have one four-man army that is rolling more dice and can deal some damage. And I think I forgot about Tandril, but yeah, we are talking here. I want to activate Tandril, and before the move I can use the archery attack. How does archery attack? You pick an enemy army and you check the proximity of your archers, Dale archers and Wood Elf archers that are standing on mountains or hills. So these are mountains regions, and this is hill, and this is hill. You check proximity. You know what? I will not go into this. Is very iffy mechanic in my opinion. I will not go how to check proximity. It is just archers need to be in range. However, it is measured. If you're interested, just check in the rulebook. And there need to be in a specific region type, which is hills and mountains. So I have two archers here in the high hills, two archers here in the in the high hills mountains, two archers here in the hills, and so I have four dice that because for archers that shoot at 5. So yeah, I roll 4 dice at 5 and I deal 1 damage. Okay, like 1 damage may matter because, you know, it's slowly stacks. It is not the biggest effect right now, but if I hit like 2 damage maybe. So yeah, this is as I mentioned before, Shadow Player here goes for the camp, decides that, you know, I am not fully recruited, so his army is actually stronger than mine, and he wants to stop my recruitment power, which is respectable. I would say this is one of 2 basic strategies as Shadow turn 1, so either disrupt soldiers and recruitment or go for your own recruitment, which means like go for the Valley or Ruins of Dale to recruit bulk yourself. He decided this, and now he attacks camp, so we are checking terrain superiority. I will explain it once and try to make it short. So every soldier has, every unit has some terrain affinity, or I don't know, speciality. Like for example, I have dwarves here, regular dwarves, and regular dwarves are the best in the mountains. Or lakemen are the best in cities. Dwarven veterans are in mountains and cities. Wood elf archers are in hills, and spearmen are in plains and hills. This similarly goes for the shadow. Like orcs are the best, I guess, in the swamps, and great orcs are the best. Have the terrain. Anything is their terrain if they're attacking, but none if they are defending. So they're just attack machine. And then we count. So I have 2 lakemen and 2 dwarven regulars, and none of them have terrain speciality for the hills. He has 3 orcs that, again, and you check terrain of the defender army, so we specifically check for the hills. So orcs are not doesn't have specialty for hills, but he has 2 great orcs that have specialty on airy terrain when attacking. So he has like 2 terrain superiority strength. I have 0, so he wins terrain superiority. And whenever an army wins terrain superiority, it simply means that before the combat you draw general event card. And general event cards have always top effect, which is some improved effect of a basic ability, which is, for example, here you can flip 3 tokens instead of 2 tokens. There are that you can move more armies, you can move further armies, you can heal armies better, and all of that. And there is a bottom combat effect. So let's say the mechanics of this card are similar to War of the Ring mechanics, which is you can play the top as an like strategy effect, or bottom as an combat effect. And top part is really good because they are always better than basic dice. So having those cards usually means that you can do more efficient, better moves. But also bottom effects quite often have some unique and very strong effects in combat. Like here I have great confusion, so I can make my opponent roll 2 dice less. So his combat will be less dangerous. The bottom effect, having those cards for combat, isn't that crucial in this game because you can make combat with your maneuver cards. So what are maneuver cards? Now we go to this part. Shadow player attacked me. We checked for terrain superiority. Shadow player drew the general event card, and now both of us pick a card from hand. It can be either the event card for the bottom effect or the maneuver card. I have in this combat Lakeman and Dwarven regular, so I can pick either the general event card or Lakeman card or Dwarven regulars card or regroup. These are my choices. I cannot pick, for example, Wood Elf cards because they don't participate in the combat. Now, let's see what we pick. So he decided to pick Vampire-like, and I picked Great Confusion. So I decided, you know what? I don't want to try my maneuvers here. I will try to reduce my damage taken to me. And he decided, you know what, I want to deal as much damage as possible. Because he is in the blue region that has 2 bats here, and these bats affect the blue region, that one bat in the red box affects red region, he can use maneuver either for his great orcs, for regular orcs, or for bats. And Bat's card is very strong because whenever he makes any hit, so he rolls any 5 or 6 things, his combat roll or reroll, he can remove the bat from the box and deal me additional damage. So it is very destructive card, accelerating the killing of your enemies, which is very strong. Okay, so I picked the card that reduces his number of dice, so he rolls 3 instead of 5. He has 1 hit. He rolls 2 hits, so he has 1 damage. But because of the bats, he deals me 2nd damage. So so it is usually we type 1 plus 1 because 1 is from the roll and plus 1 is from the maneuver. I roll 4 dice because I have 4 soldiers and 2 rerolls because I have Dane that has two leadership 2. He's a strong leader. So I got 2 damage 2. And yeah, he removes paths from here to assign additional damage. And now we assign damage. He got 1 damage from archery attack, and I dealt him 2 damage, and he dealt me 2 damage. So he has 3 damage, and I have 2. So how damage works? Basically, as I mentioned in previous video, each soldier has quote-unquote 2 hit points, we can say. So as long as his army will take up to 5 damage, he doesn't need to remove soldiers. But whenever number of damage is higher than number of soldiers, you need to start removing soldiers. And again, each soldier has 2 hit points, so when you remove a soldier, you also remove 2 damage. Similar for me, I have 4 soldiers, so I can soak up 4 damage before I will start removing soldiers. So this is why bigger armies have a big advantage over smaller armies, because not only they roll more dice, but they lose dice slower because you need to deal them more damage before they will start losing soldiers. That's why in this game you really want to try like reduce number of soldiers for enemies by simply catching smaller armies, having some easier battles, and it can be snowball effect because you remove soldiers. Enemy has less soldiers, so it is harder for enemy to gather bigger armies again, and you can attack smaller armies like in a cycle of destruction and destruction. Yeah. Okay. So he now like in good old War of the Ring fashion, he decides, does he stop the battle and nothing else happens, we just stop in here, or does he press? If he presses, I have a choice. Do I want to retreat or stay? If we stay, then we put our maneuver cards and they are not be able to use in this combat until regroup is played. The exception are event cards that are just discarded and cards like Vampire-like, which have specifically written on them that they come back to hand because they're not limited by like maneuvers, they're limited by the bat tokens. And then we would have second combat, but no more card draw because like we check terrain superiority only once at the beginning of combat. Or I can choose to retreat. Let's see if I retreat. Yes, I decided to retreat. So what do? Retreat is very costly and very specific. You cannot retreat through the river. You cannot retreat to region adjacent to enemy. So, for example, I'm not able to retreat here, nor here. So I have only 2 regions I can retreat, here or here. And also, when you retreat, you have to adjust the damage, which means your soldiers cannot be holding damage. Your soldiers, you need to reduce damage so that your army has only 0 on 1 damage. And with each 2 damage reduced, you need to kill a soldier. That's why my army had 2 damage. So because I'm retreating, I need to reduce this 2 damage, kill 1 soldier, and move away. I move away to be in a way to a front gate. I don't want this army to bash my army too easily. And yeah, and he progresses and takes the camp. And also he gets 2 victory points. Shadow wins in 2 ways basically. If they get to 10 points at and the round ends and they hold 10 points, they win. Or if they have 10 points and they hold front gate, conquering front gate gives the like sudden death, let's say, a rule for Shadow. Because front gate is so extremely difficult to take, this is extra reward. If they are holding front gate and they get 10 points in any moment during the round, Shadow wins. And each settlement is worth 2 points, each fortification is worth 4 points. So usually you need to, I mean, there are only 4 settlements, so settlements give total 8 points. You need to take at least one fortification as Shadow 2 in the game. So that was first combat of this game. And it already took us a lot of time to talk through all of this. I will try to speed up now, not to bore you to death. We have the basics. So yeah, this is end of the round. So we clear all the bad tokens, we clear all the leadership tokens. Damage stays, obviously. Obviously. And at the beginning of the game, I mean, on each round, each player draws one story card and one general cards. These are generic event cards because both players draw from this deck. But the story event cards are dedicated to each player separately. So I have my own free people cards, and these cards don't have the bottom effect that can be used for combat. These cards can have only the strategic effect. And I have actually very strong recruitment. I can just place 2 Lakemen and leadership token to any army I have on the board. So it is like very strong, sudden recruitment, which is really good. So again, I activate 3 generals, again Bard, Dane and Tandril, because this is like the most flexible basis. There's also Gandalf, but Gandalf requires more time, and we'll talk about Gandalf and it'll be time for Gandalf. I spread 3 leadership tokens, and Shadow draws Fate 3. So draws first token, this is 2 with card, which isn't too good for him because the only worst token is 3. He draws second, and this is like the deciding point. Does he want to risk drawing 3, or does he want to try to get just 2 or 1 with C? And he risked and he got rewarded with only 1. So my fate track is very slow, but it is usual. It is rare for 3 people to be further than like 3 fate at the round 2. And then he splits his leadership and bats. Let's see what he does. He counts on goblins here, 1 army here, 1 army here, and he puts again 3 bats. Understandable. He rolls 3 eyes, which may or may not be good because he has goblin armies that can start moving. But also has Palantir and 2 hybrid dice. So it is, thanks to earlier goblins recruitment, this is quite flexible actually. And I roll also very flexible die. Like master die is very inflexible because you can only recruit, but early game you want to recruit anyway. And I have this really sweet strong card that I want to play sometime. I have Palantir, which is also flexible because I can use any of my cards or draw 2 cards. Palantirs are stronger here, are very useful dice because first of all, you draw 2 cards, 1 story and 1 the generic event, not only 1 card, but also remember I mentioned each card, generic event card at the top has some effect that is improved effect of the basic action. So if you're holding some number of the generic event cards, Palantir not only gives you flexibility which action you want to do, but it also a stronger action. So if you have the, let's say, fuel of cards, Palantirs are really strong. So what I'm doing, I using character die to retake camp. I want to use the opportunity that this army is damaged, 1 leadership token. So actually I have only 4 soldiers, but because the war veterans roll 2 dice, I still have 5 dice. I have 3 leadership because I have leadership token and Dane. So my army has 4 soldiers, so has 8 health. His army has 5 soldiers, so has 10 health, but 3 damage, so 7 health. So I actually am reasonably stronger here than my opponent. Also, we check for terrain superiority, but none of my soldiers is good at fighting and heals, and none of his soldiers is good at defending heals. Great orcs are good at attacking anything, so no one draws the card. I choose maneuver and he chooses maneuver. So I chose Dwarven Veterans. Dwarven Veterans is the strongest maneuver overall, probably. And how does it work? I separately roll maneuver dice, which equals in number to the number of units that are associated with this maneuver. I have one Dwarven Veteran, so I roll one of my combat dice is maneuver die. If I hit with maneuver die, it triggers maneuver. If I don't hit with maneuver die, it doesn't matter what other dice will do, the maneuver is not triggered. That's why leadership is very important in this game, especially the first few points of leadership, because it makes your maneuvers more consistent. So you can like more consistently do extra stuff or deal damage. I roll on the first roll only 3, which makes me sad, but my reroll gets me 5, so I got hit. So this effect will take place, I will deal additional damage, and I will remove the leadership token. So very strong effect. And then I roll my other 4 dice for Lakeman and the second Dwarven Veteran die. I got 2 hits and I still have 2 rerolls because I have 3 leadership, and I score another hit. So massive destruction. I just dealt 5 damage. Ooh. Yeah, and I typed I'm sorry because it was extremely lucky roll for that damaged army. Now my opponent, before he rolls a die, what did he play? He played Regroup. Regroup has like basic 3 effects. One of the effects is if you don't have maneuver or even card to play, you can just play Regroup. Also, after the first round of combat, maneuver cards stay revealed and cannot be played by you. So if you are in some extended combat when, let's say, you played maneuver cards for all your soldiers or your best maneuver cards that you want to play, you cannot play them until you play regroup card. So you basically do like, let's say, not really that you don't have any maneuver special effects for that round, but you pick up all your maneuver cards back. So it is a card that can be used for the long extensive combat, but it can also be used in the short skirmishes because it has a special effect that when you retreat, you don't need to adjust damage. So you don't need what I have done like before when I had only 2 damage, so I had to kill my soldier, but you can keep damage on your soldiers, you don't need to kill them. So let's see what happens. He rolls 5 dice, he scored 2 hit, which isn't that scary for me because I have 4 healthy soldiers, and he rerolled 1 for the leadership reroll. Yes. He. I thought for a moment that this roll. Yeah, so he dealt me 2 damage. Yeah. So he kills. I dealt him 5 damage, so he has 8 damage on 10 soldiers army. So he needs to kill 3 soldiers to remove 6 damage, and he will have two soldiers left with 2 damage. So he just has 2 great orcs left. Both of them are damaged. Massive destruction. I just take 2 damage, and obviously I decide to press, and he decides to retreat, but he doesn't. If he didn't play regroup, he would have needed to take this 2 damage and kill 1 more soldier. 1 lonely orc would be left. So now it is his turn. What does he do? He recruits goblins. The army is destroyed. So I use Bard ability to place recruitment token, and then immediately play a die to recruit. And I got Dwarven Veterans, so I will have army with 2 Dwarven Veterans, which is very strong, and I flip an elf in here. I see that goblins are stacking, my elves need to get to work. probably very soon. So what does he do? He uses Palantir, and hey, that's the thing about Palantirs. He can move up to 3 armies instead of 2 armies with his army die. So he moves his goblins that are ready for battle. He escapes with his great orcs, which is cool, and then he moves his next army that is ready for battle, and maybe to attack somewhere, or he can either go here support, or maybe use the commotion queues here to go here. Now I use again Tandril ability, archery ability, which is very good to finish off. If I will score 2 hits, those 2 orcs will go down without fighting, and I will be able to proceed peacefully with my life, not bothered by those pesky strong great orcs. But yeah, so let's count. I have 2 archers here, I have 2 archers here, I don't have any more archers in proximities. I have 4 dice, and I score 1 hit. It's a shame I didn't score 1 more hit, but 1 is good enough. One of the great orcs are dead, and now I probably consider how do I want to finish the great orcs before they will merge with goblins, and they will have like bulk of weak soldiers that protect those great orcs, because great orcs are one of the strongest soldiers. I want to get rid of them, and I want to fight in this situation when I'm strong against he's weak, to just remove those soldiers. So I'll use my Will of the West to just go and attack, and again we check for terrain superiority. I have 3 dwarves that are good at the high mountains. Orcs are not good at defending the aggression, so I just draw a card, and this is really good card. I got Captain of War. It is really cool bottom effect that allows you to heal your army for the tokens, leadership tokens. Oh, this is cute strategy. I try to pull off some cheeky Dwarven regular. Their maneuver says that I can reduce my free damage from my army and kill the regular. So in a sense, that Dwarven regular would have 3 health, not 2. So it is some added sustainability in the army. He plays vampire-like, so again he has the vampires, so he hopes to score more damage on me. Unfortunately, having only 1 Dwarven regular, I don't really deal anything. I missed, and then I missed on the reroll. I have missed everything, so I'm starting to sweat a little bit, but on my leadership reroll, last leadership reroll, those 3 rerolls came in handy. I got my hit to deal last damage to the orc, so he is dead. Now let's see if he hits me. If he hits me, it would be 2 damage, because at least 2 damage, because from the die and from the bat. But fortunately for me, he also had a bad roll and missed. So I'm going here and I'm locking goblins from some easy attack here, going out and attack. So yeah. He uses an eye die, he has an army, he has eye dice, and I have a damaged army here. He attacks me. This is pretty decent for goblins, because he has the bats, so the fact that they have weak maneuver doesn't really affect them that much. And they're attacking the high hills, the only region that they're good at, so he gets the terrain superiority card. So we both choose a card. I choose Captain of War. My army is damaged, so I don't want to be battered too much, so I would have to lose soldiers. I want to use my token to heal my army, and he uses vampire-like. So he got 2 damage, with bats it is 3 damage, so the boiling point of my army. I got 3 damage back, which is decent, but now I use the token to heal. So it was decent combat for him, but thanks to my maneuver, I hold the advantage, at least I believe. He tries to press. I was able to actually retreat because I wouldn't even need to kill any soldiers, so it wouldn't be that bad for me. but the issue is he would be able to move away his goblins and maybe go for Eastern Spur. And he has already one army here, second army here. If he surrounds and attacks, he can take it. So I decided, you know what, I don't want them to move out freely. It will make some mess. I want to cork this spot with my what I believe is stronger army. I have, for example, Dwarven veterans. If their maneuver will come in, they will do more than bats. Okay, he rolled. Oh my, he rolled 5 damage, which is devastating. But I rolled 2 for. I rolled 5 dice instead of 2. I have 2 Dwarven veterans, but there is like the usual Word of Ring agreement that we count rolls from left to right. So the first 2 rolls are maneuver rolls, and other 3 rolls are regular rolls, or re-rolls, depend on your approach. But I think, especially that I rolled 5, it sums up neatly. So these are maneuver rolls, and these are regular rolls. And this is like the usual approach, so you don't need to like fix the rolls on or spend too much time. I asked my opponent, because we didn't talk about this previously, but I asked him if he's fine by him. But yeah, he agrees this is the standard, so we agree on that. So I keep my awesome roll of 3 hits and maneuver hit. And I said that I hit 2 maneuver and 2 normal. I mean, it doesn't matter, because if you hit at least 1 maneuver die, then maneuver triggers. Multiple maneuver hits don't really matter. Okay. And so I rerolled 2 misses, and I got the 4, but I got 4 damage and removed leadership. So I start losing soldiers, but he starts losing soldiers too, thanks to my Dwarven veteran strength. I still roll 5 dice, he would roll only 3 dice. I have 2 rerolls, he has no rerolls, so his army is and he lost, and he's out of his bats token. So I mean, he could try to trade his weak goblins versus my like strong Dwarven veterans, but do you really want to throw away your soldiers like that? So what do I do now? I pass. Makes sense. He cannot do anything immediately right now, so I want to see where will he attack. Will he bring those soldiers here? So I need to pump this army. Will he start recruiting goblins to improve this army and also open this one? What do I need to defend? And he plays very interesting card, shadow card. So when he plays this card, he can play 1 orc in any shadow army, and then place this card in play with 6 shadow armies. And then he can use any die that he wants to, as an action, to place 1 orc from here into any of his armies. So it is like big, slow, but big pool of recruitment ability. So very interesting card. So I see I'm probably being attacked here, if not now then soon. I use Dane ability to put a token here for future recruitment, and I use the Will of the West as a character die to recruit Bilbo here to protect my army. Bilbo is recruited with character die, and comes you place him into any army, and you place him with 5 rings. He has the protection ability. When he's in an army, you can use during the combat the ring to move him away from the army into his box and remove 2 damage from that army. Then whenever you use a character die, you can remove the ring and add him to any army. So basically he can protect your armies from damage to increase their strength. It is really good. So okay, He recruited goblins. Now this place is open. Here is goblin soldier that can be added to this. So he has 2 armies, which is a bit scary. Now he can move if these goblins attack my lone wooden soldiers here, which I don't like to lose like that, especially that I don't have too many soldiers because I was so focused on recruiting here and defending here. So now I pull up my card with men of the lake with long swords, and they come with bows, obviously, because I mean they're lakemen. I don't know. So I place 2 of them in here with leadership tokens. So even if he comes with attack, he doesn't have bats in the green region, the sword and spur. Those bats go up to the fallen bridge. I will have 2 leadership tokens, 3 soldiers, so he doesn't have really that great odds of killing this army or dealing heavy damage to them in one combat, and will be able to retreat later. So let's see what happens. So he uses this army to attack. He moves this goblin as help, and suddenly, yeah, that's the power of shadow and goblins. He had 3 damaged goblins. Now he has army of 5 with only 3 damage against my army of 4 with 4 damage. Not the best situation for me, and he still keeps drawing cards because he has 4 goblins, so he has terrain superiority. I decided to play Lakeman. This is a very specific scenario, like Dwarven, because he doesn't have leadership token. So Lakemen do the same as Dwarves, but if I will be taking damage, I prefer to kill Lakemen because they are weaker, so I will have the Dwarven card for later. And he plays, that's interesting, top card of this card is very powerful, it is flexible recruitment, but he plays your opponent's leader reroll is cancelled, so I don't get to get my 2 rerolls. Let's see what happens. He rolls 3 damage, oh, it hurts, and I get, I didn't hit maneuver, and I dealt only 1 damage. Okay, so goblins are starting to breaking through. I used the Bilbo with his ring to move him into the box and to negate the damage, 2 damage dealt to me, but I still got 1 damage, so I need to adjust the damage, and my army is being battered. So he presses, and probably it is and I have a choice. Do I retreat or do I keep fighting? I would still have 5 dice, but you know, every damage kills me when he still has some damage to soak up. I see they decided to run away. Oh wait, that is an interesting decision. Do I run away toward the spur to try to defend it, or do I run away toward the camp to try to consolidate here and recruit in here? And he doesn't press, which is interesting because it is like a free movement for him, but maybe he doesn't want to. Yeah, if he moves here, I maybe would have been able to move away with this army and just smash this army into pieces, because I would have again 5 soldiers with rerolls and all of that, and he's damaged, and I would be able to like shoot with archers. So maybe, yeah, it may be a really smart decision to don't go out from here. So next round, we are clearing, we are drawing cards, and I am placing 3 leadership tokens. I'm spreading, yeah, Dales. This army can be attacked, and Eastern Spore. If and Fate 3 again, 2 with a C. I'm waiting. It is just round 3, like only 2 rounds, and so much death, so much combat. So he draws 2 with C. He goes through without card draw, and I think he kept it because he realized, you know, he already pulled 2 ones. And whenever you pull a token, it is removed from the game, so it's not like the pull stays the same. It is similar to Hound pull, and So he decided, you know what, it is one of the better one for him, because 2 with a card or 3 would be too dangerous to draw, so he keeps the 2. So I go to for Fate, and he places 3 leadership and 3 bats. Yes, 3 bats. Bats are spread out, none in the valley. Okay, he signalizes by that maybe he probably wants to go here. We roll a die, our dice. He rolls first. He got lots of goblins, and I roll second. So again, lots of flexible dice. 1 master, 1 palantir, 1 eye, army hybrids. I got 2 sea dice. It is very important to have attack dice in this game as 3 people, because as you were able to see, I really need to move my armies. I need to counter attack. I need to do a lot of stuff, and there's 1, 2, 3 armies ready to attack. Okay, what do I do? I use Dane to put a token in here, and I run away with this army. I'm so smart. This is a good decision, because I don't want to fight 3 versus 5. I want to, to keep my army bigger, and especially that I run away from the region that has bats. The red region doesn't have bats, and as I mentioned before, I'm using Bilbo ability. I moved him on the board along with using the seed die normally. You don't need to recruit him each time. After the first recruitment, he is more flexible to move. So I move the elves, and I add Bilbo here. So my 2 naked dwarven veterans with 1 damage. So 1 damage with bats or 2 damage with bats would devastate them. Suddenly they have that 2 more health, which is much harder to deal, especially with 1 turn of combat. So what does my opponent do? He consolidates his army. He decides, you know what, I have enough of these stupid dwarves. I will go for Ruins of Dale. There are only 4 soldiers, no dwarven veterans. I have my 5 soldiers here, and I want to take Ruins of Dale. Maybe time to recruit Bolg. And he moves his goblins here. They were not able to attack, now they're able to attack. So I see those moves, so probably the bottom half of the map will need some help. I use Tanduril to place recruitment token in Fallen Bridge to master up my armies, and I place another dwarven veteran here. That is sweet. And to have 5 strong army in Bridge. So I'm using the fact that he is consolidating his armies to recruit a little bit. Sudden assault. Move 1 friendly army and attack with it. If you automatically gain terrain superiority. So he uses Palantir to attack. It is, as I mentioned before, it is a stronger attack. Not just you move an attack, but you have guaranteed terrain superiority, which is cool because these cards cycles itself. So it pays, in a sense, pays for itself. And he moves and attacks my elves. He would have lost the terrain superiority, so I would have drawn a card, but instead of me, he draws a card. So it is 2 card difference in 1 card. Very, very smart, very cool move here. And he attacks my elves. Let's see. Overall, in general, goblins are considered weak because, first of all, he has only 1 type of unit here, so he can play 1 maneuver card, when I have 3 types of units, so I can cycle my maneuvers for longer. And also his goblin cards say deal 1 damage to enemy and 1 damage to yourself, which is mutual destruction, where my elven my archers, so lakemen and wood elves, these lakemen, remember, are with longswords, but they can still shoot bows. Which, I mean, maybe I shouldn't make jokes like that in the introduction of the video. It didn't matter. It doesn't matter mechanically. I was just referring to the card that summoned them. So those elves have a maneuver that those archers have card that simply says deal 1 damage to enemy and don't deal damage to yourself, which is strictly better, obviously. So he draws a card And now we pick our maneuvers. I pick Wood Elf Spearman, which is a cute card because it has an effect that if I hit the maneuver, I will take 1 damage less, which is very cool. I really like this card because it reduces, it increases toughness of your army, which is very unique and very good. And he adds leadership to his army, which is cool. He has only 1 leadership, so that leadership will be useful. So yeah, so that card gave him leadership reroll, which added 2nd damage. So he deals 2 damage to me. Did I make a mistake? No, I have 2 Wood Elf Spearmans, so I roll 2 maneuver dice and I use my reroll to reroll it, and I hit. So I reduce his damage to me by 1. We both deal 1 damage to each other. Okay, does he press? He presses and I stay. I mean, I don't want to give my recruitment place and my settlement easily. So, and especially that, I have quite weak, not stronghold. I have fortification here. I don't want those goblins to pivot and attack my weak fortification. So I play Wood Elf soldiers, Wood Elf archers. It is probably a mistake because I have only 1 of them. I should have played the Lakeman that I have 2 of them, but oh well, okay. He rolled 2 damage and maneuver, so he can decide to deal damage to both of us. Now I roll. Oh, I made a mistake of rolling. Okay, that was. I made a mistake here. Yeah, I should have played Lakeman. I would have 2 maneuver dice, but I played Wood Elf Archer, so I have only 1. So I should have missed the maneuver. I deal 3 damage and I count it in the maneuver. So 4 damage. So he gets up to 5 damage. If he triggers his maneuver, he will start losing soldiers, and I will not. So he decides to not use his goblins, and his army is dwindling faster than mine, which is a usual case with goblins fighting against elves. So yeah, and but he decides, you know what? Maybe he hopes for some luck or some mutual destruction. So he presses. I will stay. It's quite tricky for me. I don't want to lose soldiers for nothing, but still, I believe I have advantage. I still have a maneuver card for Lakeman, so I play them, and he plays regroup because he doesn't have anything else to roll. But he keeps rolling damage. He actually rolls really well. 3 damage, and okay. I think okay. I think there's some confusion here. I realized something, but I think I didn't realize fully what happened. But okay. Oh well. But yeah, I hit the maneuver. So again, I've dealt 3. I rolled. Yeah. Okay. So I rolled 3 damage plus maneuver, which is again 4 damage. So it means I'm devastating those goblins. Like he had 5 damage already, which means simply 4 goblins are dying, and this will be a single lone goblin. He dealt 3 damage to me, so that damage stacks up. So I need to start killing my soldiers too, but they can hold some damage anyway. So he stops. Yeah. So I flip a Bard to probably, yeah, so okay, I decided, you know what, I don't have that time to put more tokens, especially that there are goblins here, army here, so I just use the Bard not to place token, but to flip the token. I flip the token, and then what do? And I use the Will of the West as a recruitment die, so I flip those 2. So I have all tokens flipped. I did some recruitment. I got this like surge of 3 recruitments. What does he do? That is neat. He used an eye die to trigger this card. He placed an orc into his army, So he had 6 soldiers, but you cannot have more than 5. So he needs to remove soldier, but whenever you remove soldier, you also remove 2 damage. So he used the card as a heal. Combination of card and a die, which is cute, which is cool ability. I'm not sure myself. Maybe he should have used instead the master die to use a rally action, but I mean it is still. Maybe he upgraded a little bit his army, placing another orc. Okay. So I pass. I want to see what happens, and he starts moving this guy up front. He actually is slowly running out of soldiers. I still have some elves here, and he has only 2 armies, and I'm still a little bit recruiting. So I move my. It is time for generals to move. Show your resolve. Come on, guys. And I don't want to leave a goblin here, because if I leave this army, he can trigger various event cards, but also this card to start and building this army again. And I don't want my rare to be exposed to some army, so I just want to kill it. I don't want to risk this army simply because it has too much damage. Every damage will kill them. So I just take my fresh army with 3 leadership. It should be enough to attack. So unfortunately, he draws a card because, again, elves are not good at fighting in high heels. Goblins are, so he gets that terrain superiority. So that's a consolidation prize. So he plays Pats because he is defending in the green region. So if he scores a hit, he will tell 2 damage, but I try to defend with my... Oh, and I got... Okay. Well, to be honest, he wasn't able to count for too much back there. So that was just finishing off. It is quite important in this game to do the cleaning duty and, to finish off soldiers, not allow them to consolidate and all that. Okay, so his plan is clear now. He tries to take Ruin of Dale, which is has smaller army than he has, and he will be able to recruit Bulk. Bulk has a recruitment requirement, which is Shadow player needs to have an army in the red region, and then he can recruit Bulk. He can use Master Die to put Bulk in any of those Master regions, put a Great Orc with him, and flip 1 token in each of those regions. So it is you get a very strong character with 3 leadership and bodyguard token and a lot of recruitment for 1 die. But there's more. If Shadow player is holding Ruins of Dale when recruiting Bulk, he comes with 3 bodyguard tokens. You were able to see what bodyguards token do in my previous game showcase, but basically they just negate 1 round of damage, either from ability card or from round of combat. Sometimes you can be dealt 6 damage in 1 round of combat, but you negate it with Bulk and it is fine. So very strong stuff. So he's going for 3 bodyguard token, 3 bodyguards Bulk, which is very strong. And yeah, let's see what happens. He attacks. I have terrain superiority, so I draw a card, and we both decide on cards. So he has fierce defense, which is funny because he's attacking. So I am hitting him only on 6s. So there's not that good odds I will hit him with my Lakeman. So he rolls and dealt only 1 damage, but in the long run he is still favored to win because he has bigger army. And I roll 3 Lakemen and 1 leadership reroll. And yes, if he didn't play this one, I would have hit him 2 times and trigger the maneuver to deal him 3 damage. So this card saved a lot of damage. So he is pressing. I run away because I don't want to fight this unfavorable fight. But then again, I have Palantir. Remember, Palantirs are good in this game, especially when you leave them as a last die. because they are very, very flexible. I can either trigger some events to do some stuff, or I can decide which action I want to take. And I play Move to Strike, a very unique, very powerful event card that allows me to move my army two spaces, not one, and attack. So I take my leadership, I take my elves, I take my big army. Now I have massive army to attack those pesky shadow army, because I don't want him to recruit super strong bulk with 3 bodyguards. And I attack. Yeah, I'm just mentioning that if he had 3 damage on himself, that would be much easier combat. But right now, I have much more leadership, but I also have that 1 damage. Because of the terrain superiority, I drew a card. So I start with Wood Elf, Wood Elf Spearman to stop potential damage, but he starts with Wargs, which is neat. If he will trigger this maneuver and deal some damage, he will start reducing my dice right away. Because Wargs, when they trigger, they force opponent to adjust damage. So you cannot hold that damage on your soldiers. I roll maneuver. Sadly, Wood Elf didn't defend, so I deal him 2 damage, and he deals me 4 damage with Wargs. So he kills me basically 2 soldiers in this attack, and I just mentioned that, in my opinion, in general, I had advantage just because of the leadership and quite strong maneuvers I can play, but he simply devastated me here, which is nasty. And okay, I have suddenly only 3 soldiers against 5 soldiers. This is not a good deal. But I press and I play determined attack. Wait a second. No, he plays determined attack. I play a card. This is stand and fight. This says that all my soldiers have combat strength 2, so each of them rolls like 2 dice. So I roll like 6 dice, but the limit is 5. So despite having 3 soldiers, I still roll 5 dice with 4 rerolls. So this is like desperation attempt from me to stop 3 bodyguards ball being recruited. He does something neat. He plays determined attack, so he is able to take maneuver card that he just played and play it again. So he tries to hit me with the Works again to devastate my army. Like, this is a very cool maneuver to just like keep killing my soldiers. So I am rolling low number of dice. And yeah, okay, I roll only 2 hits, but he triggers his maneuver with 2 hits, so kills another of my soldiers. So I decided, you know what, I lost this battle, but not yet the war, not yet the battle of 5 armies. So yeah, he recruits bulk, so he had massive recruitment. I hope I will not mess up the replay, because I think I messed up something with those Wood Elves. Okay, so yeah, look at that. He was very depleted here, but he places bulk, he places Great Orc now, and he got double 2 orcs recruitment. So he got 2, 3, 4, 6, 7 soldiers and bulk recruited, and suddenly he has massive armies. He has 1 army here ready to go. Oh, so scary. Okay, but if I manage to survive, you know what? This flank is safe. I still have my armies here. I can still heal up, like this army and this army. And soon my powerful characters are joining the game. So yeah, okay. I need to withhold like 1-2 more rounds. I am activating 3. This is one of the interesting spots. I would try to activate 1 to increase the odds for Thorin joining, but I decided, you know what, I don't want to have minimal leadership, minimal general activation, so he has some power turn and starts running and demolishing me. That's not fun thing to experience. He starts with 2 with C, he probably wants to avoid it, and he got 1 with C. So if I activated 1 general, I would be able to recruit Thorin, but yeah. And I am getting Eagles are coming. Okay, this is decent card. Eagles are soon to be here. If they will come, I will have more eagles to play with, which is important. And he is putting down leadership token and bats. Again, he somewhat signalizes that he plans to attack the Eastern Bank. I rolled 2 master dice, which at this point are quite inflexible. I don't really like it that much, but let's see what I will do. But he also rolled 2 master dice, so we both are inflexible, and at this point, if the game slows down, it is to my benefit, I believe, because my new characters will start joining the battle, and he wants to abuse the fact that he has the spur of strong armies when I'm spread and damaged. So, okay, I use... Okay, this is interesting. I like this maneuver. So I use Dane to put recruitment token here for future, and then I use a C die to move these elves from here, consolidate to have again 5-man army. Like this, oh my, this army like did so much. And no, I don't do this. I use... okay, I play it as Palantir. Why? Maybe I don't know, because I'm drawing a card anyway. Maybe I don't want to. I don't know. I decided to play it with Palantir. I mean, I have Will of the West, which is flexible die. Do I need to keep? But maybe I wanted, yeah, maybe it does make sense. Maybe I wanted also to leave the C die for future to maybe reposition Bilbo. Well, let's see. I don't know. So I'm playing Fierce Defense. I want to limit damage to myself. Which makes sense, but he rolls Dense Fog, very strong card that he simply breaks the fight. After this round, combat stops, so I am not able to abuse the fact that they're damaged and lonely, finish them off before reinforcements come. He will able to... Ooh, but I rolled 4 damage, whoa. And he rolled 2-5, so yeah, okay. So he did me 1 damage. Okay, so he needs to kill lots of soldiers. He keeps works. I mean, I'm not surprised. Like HicSunt is really good with that works usage. They are very scary unit. They don't deal they don't add damage like other units, but that ability to kill soldiers even if your army is full, like come on, okay. He some thinks about we do this, and he breaks the combat. What does he do? Scary Bulk is moving in. He uses the C die. Remember, C die is really strong in this card, especially if you have very strong army that you want to move around. Bulk by itself has 3 leadership, which is the most. Other 3 people characters have like 2 or 1 leadership, so he has 3 leadership, and with leadership token he has 4 leadership. Very reliable combat ability. What I do? I flip Tanduril. Makes sense. I flip Tanduril to get a token, and I flip tokens to have more soldiers. So yeah, a little bit afraid, what will happen. So I just flip stuff. Yeah, makes sense. He uses master die. Okay, yeah, master die are fairly inflexible at this point, but he still his event card, so he's able to recruit back his army that I just attacked. Okay, what do? I do regroup action. Very cool action, very cool addition to this game. So it is not just that, okay, soldiers now holding damage. It comes with new mechanic on the master die. So master die can be used to flip tokens, but also can be used as a regroup action. So as a regroup action, you pick 2 armies and you roll for those armies. You roll number of dice that it has soldiers in it, and you have number of rerolls equal to leadership. and on 5+ you can remove damage. So I first try healing Gandalf army. I rolled 1 success, but I have 4 leadership, so I healed them fully. So that's why I wanted to recruit armies first to get more soldiers, more dice, and then Fallen Breach. I sadly got only 1. Let's see. Oh, okay, only 1 heal, which is sad, but this is the most important. It is on the front, and he is doing the same. Yeah, makes sense. So he is trying to heal this army, and he managed to heal both damage, and he probably heals here. Yeah, so this way you can like preserve your soldiers if you have a moment to breathe. Now, so again, I have less dice than him, so I am passing. I want to see what he will do. He moves 2 armies. So he consolidates this army here. He can get up to 5 soldiers army again, and scary bulk approaches. So I think this is the time. This is the time where I attack Dale, because I want to abuse the fact that there are only 3 guys here. So I play Great Confusion, which is neat because he has 3 dice, so I reduced only 1 die. He plays Bats because he wants to weaken my army, and I got yeah, I need leadership. So I deal 3 damage to him, and he didn't roll anything. So yeah, his army gets damaged. I got a good combat round. He stares. Now each damage kills a soldier, and he plays his nasty wargs. I missed everything, but I reload. Okay, I got at least 1 hit here. I got the destruction. Oh, that was unlucky combat. Yeah, he lost all. Okay, so I just destroyed him, quote unquote, for free, which is unfortunate. I mean, he probably should have been able to deal some damage me here. So I have big, fresh 4 leadership army. Because this is bulk, he also has 4 leadership, and he has 3 bodyguard tokens. That army simply stands no chance. But you know, I still need to get sometime. I need to get through those tokens. So yeah, he goes and attacks because he has 1 great orc, but I have 2 lakemen. I have terrain superiority. So what do I roll? Oh, okay. This is cute card. The top effect is the rally action, but it heals on 4, so it is augmented in this sense, which is very strong effect. I play regroup. Yeah, I see the plan. I decided, you know what? I have damaged army here. I don't want my soldiers to die here. We exchange 1 round, and I run away. I don't adjust damage, but then I will play the Blow the Horns new card to heal the damage that we will be dealing each other here. And he plays Vampire like, yeah, so. Oh wow, that few rounds of combat's very unlucky. He dealt only 2 damage to me. I dealt 2 damage to him. Yeah, that 4 leadership, this combat would be all much worse if I didn't have the nasty 4 leadership. And he moves in. I leave him the Ruins of Dale, and I use Bard, the ability to token. So this is the strong ability of 3 people that I mentioned. I mean, the camp is left for its own devices. So I mean, it was empty camp. 4 soldiers are just appearing slowly, right? And yeah, and I play Blow the Horns. So I tried the regroup action. I heal 2 damage that is required, so I'm full. And then I try Fallen Breach. Man, those elves so lazy. Oh, but I got a 4. Okay, so I healed. Okay, it was. So again, I started this round having 4 soldiers with 4 damage. Now I have 5 soldiers with 5 damage. Very fresh, very combat-ready army, which is good. Now bulk, mind you, when bulk dies, 3 people win on the spot. So Box needs to be protected. So when he is here, surrounded like by enemies, it is a very risky spot. Still, he has the ability to recruit anywhere on the game board. He has close army here. He has 3 bodyguards tokens. So it is easier said than done about killing Bulk. Okay, move to strike. What is happening? Oh, Okay. Oh, that is interesting maneuver here. That is interesting. So he played Palantir to move and attack here. So he is cutting my strong army from my other strong army and like tries to push me away so that this one army can beat those soldiers here. Uh, which is very interesting maneuver. With his free bodyguards token, he can play risky. Uh, and okay, let's see what happens here. Mm, and he has terrain superiority to draw a card. Okay, well, I decided, you know what, I can, if needed be, retreat to camp, so I can take damage. I can lose soldiers, but I need to weaken this army. I mean, if I will not deal damage to this army, I'm not going to win, right? So I will be fighting most probably for some time. Let's see what happens. And he gets Battle Fury. Okay, as 1 to combat dice, so he is hitting on 4s, but it is combat dice, not combat rerolls. So, oh, 5 hits. Doesn't matter. Okay, 5 damage. Okay, so this is consolidation price for all the previous combat. Okay, I missed. Oh, I missed. Oh no. I deal only 1 damage to him. Okay, what will I do? Okay, do I stay? Okay, so I'm thinking, yeah, if he rolls 5 damage here, he just wipes my army with 2 generals, which isn't really comfortable position for me, you know. But on the other hand, as I mentioned, I have soldiers to lose. I have camp ready to go, right? And I can run away here. So I probably decided, yeah, to risk it, I'm staying. I need to damage this army, especially, but like dealing instead of doing some super one powerful strike for 5 damage, dealing increments of damage is important, because you know, when you deal 5 damage once, it is very efficient use of bodyguards token. But if the army is damaged and has like 4 damage tokens, and you get 2 or 3 damage, you need to start losing soldiers. Do you want to lose soldiers or lose tokens? It starts to be very difficult. Okay, what do I do here? Lakemen, obviously, maybe not obviously, but and great orcs. Oh, okay, and great orcs. That if he hits that maneuver, I need to take 2 damage or leadership token. But I fortunately have leadership token. If I don't have leadership token, I need to take 2 damage or lose a character here. So nasty. Okay, he rolls 1 damage. Okay, so he is dealing, yeah, that 4 leadership is paying dividends. So he dealt 3 damage, which is a lot. Ooh, and I hot. Okay, I'm hitting hot too. I dealt 3 damage. So this is the nasty point. You know, this is 6 damage. He starts losing soldiers, but do you want to use bodyguard token only for that much damage? Okay. So I obviously lose the leadership token because this is end of the round. They will be cleared anyway. And he is thinking what to do. My massive, like, 2 generals, 5 soldiers army got just smashed to pieces. Yeah, okay, he used 1 ring. You know, if he took that 3 damage, he would have fully damaged army with only 4 soldiers, so he would be very vulnerable to counterattacks. And remember, 3 people are the ones that start the round. Okay, and he presses, so I decide to take that opportunity and consolidate my armies. Okay, and I have another army ready to go. Usually it is a shadowed strategy, you know, to like throw your soldiers like meat into the meat grinder, but against one super strong bulk, you know, you have to take sacrifices. Okay, another round, drawing cards, clearing. I will try to speed up because I think this will be very, very long video with all that rules explanation too. Okay. What happens here? I activate. Okay, I will pass over the talking. Usually it is cool to talk with those people. Only cool and fun people are playing Battle of Five Armies, you know. So the more reason to join. But yeah, okay. I am activating Fate Free. So, yeah, I activated Tandril, Gandalf, and Bard. So yeah. So my plan is, okay, I'm not stacking tokens in camp anymore. It is too late for that. I use Bard to just flip this token. And I have Tandril to either support bridge or shoot. And I have Gandalf. Gandalf has like 2 stages. You can use Gandalf to either shoot a weak fireball that are like 3 hits that hit at 5. Or you can put concentration token, and then next round when you activate him again, you can shoot super powerful fireball that has 5 hits on force, I guess. So yeah. 2. He kept the 2. He didn't want to risk 3 because if he draws a 3, eagles will be recruitable, and eagles are really strong, and he is not able to avoid Thorin anyway. So yeah. Okay. So, and he activates, yeah, leadership, bats. Okay, 2 bats in here in the north. Are we attacking there? What is happening? Okay, I got 2 master dice, which is not very comfortable position, but because I don't even have anything to rally. So, and I just needed to roll. Yeah, I didn't roll yet. I was just using previous roll. And I got. There is no day of the day without dawn. So this is okay. This is the lucky part of the game where he got 3 inflexible master dice that are not useless. He still has bats, so he can still move. He can still use them to rally his armies and heal. He has still tokens to flip. He has still soldiers to put. So it's not like in the War of the Ring. Oh, I got 3 master dice, I cannot do anything. He still can do a lot of stuff. It is less flexible. That is true. It is not as good. This is true. But he is far out of being, out of the game. But I got like sweet roll. This is really sweet roll. Okay. So yeah, what do? I flip the token in the camp, which makes sense because I just want to have the full army in here because something bad starts happening. And yeah. I think I use yes. So I use the opportunity that Shadow has slow turn, and I recruit Thorin. Thorin is very strong breaking point character for 3 people. It is actually like in a way a bit similar to Bolg in a sense that okay, I put him specifically in a front gate, so I need to control it, but I do, and I put recruitment tokens in 4 locations: the Spur, the Camp, the Bridge, and the Ravenhill, if I control them. Fortunately for me, I still control them. So he is like the refreshment. He adds some stuff, and he gives me 3 people die. From now on, I will be rolling not 5, but 6 3 people die as long as he is alive. So, okay. He decides to attack my dwarven veterans, which makes sense. He needs to move someday, probably those. Finally coming, and he attacks me with bats. Yeah, you don't. I mean, there are 2 ways. Actually, he could have used orcs here to try to get leadership token, but he decided to. Yeah, okay. I picked dwarven veterans because if I kill this this leadership token, this will be good for future. He puts vampire-like, and we roll. He dealt me 4 damage, come on, but I dealt him 4 damage in leadership. Okay, okay, we are Okay, so he killed me. He killed Dwarven Veteran. Uh, I don't like it. I retreat to the Spore. I dealt him heavy damage, which he might be actually fairly happy with that probably, because he, with those Master Dice, he may do the rally action. And but I run here. Yeah, okay. Now what do? We discuss about some strategy, and I choose to use Tandril to shoot. So I see this army is damaged. I have a lot of archers here. I have archers here, so I shoot 5 times at 5s. I dealt him 2 damage, so it is cute, and I kill 1 soldier. So this army is being reduced. Oh, I'm bold. I like it. So no, I don't. Wait, I do? Okay, I use this as character die, so I put Bilbo here. So again, this army is with Dwarven Veteran, with 4 leadership, with Bilbo, nasty, scary army, and I just want each damage kills a soldier. I want to finish this off, so Bulk will be alone here, right? He will not have support. So he draws a card because of the terrain superiority, and I play Lakeman because I just want to deal as much damage, just damage, just kill soldiers. And he plays regroup, which is smart. He just want to not die, right? I deal him 4 damage. Oh, nasty, nasty. So I just kill them all, Let's do the usual War of the Ring honorary. You probably are not able to see, no. But actually, I'm -6. No, again, these rolls are probably reverted. I'm not sure because I'm rolling those abilities with archers. I did some many on few combats, so I don't know if I didn't roll more dice than Shadow this game. But I mean, one side is -6 on hits, one side is +2 on hits, which is big difference, but not one of those devastating ones, right? Okay, so I cleared the army. I am happy. He cleared my camp. I'm unhappy. And when army moves here, the token is moved back to the pool. So I don't like lose. Oh, and he attacks me here actually. Yeah, right. Because if he just moves, I'm able to go and stop him from going into the front gate with one of my actions. But probably he wants to attack me, so and force me to retreat. So then he would be able to, conquer front gate sometime. So and this is important. So he is there's no superiority because he has great orcs that are good at attacking anything, but I have dwarven veterans that are good at defending this. So it is a tie. No one draws a card. And because I am mountains and he is attacking me from region different than mountains, the first round is hitting on 6s. This is like similar when you attack through the river. So I am very defensive round 1, but this combat, he is damaged a little bit more than me. I have Bilbo, he has bodyguards, but yeah, and I have the first round advantage. It can go both ways. It really depends on the luck. Ooh, this is cute. He cancels my rerolls when I have 4 rerolls. This is nice. He rolls 2 damage. 2 is decent. Oh, but I got the hit on the maneuver. This is a big breaking point. So I dealt him 4 damage and a leadership token. And yeah, this is good point for him to for like 4 damage for bodyguard token. It is understandable. Yeah. If I didn't hit that maneuver, that would be like a big deal. Okay, my damage is stacking. He is pressing. Yeah, probably I'm thinking about if I manage to survive with this damage and his presses, maybe I use some regroup action. Or I'm deciding. and I decided to stay. Ah, right, I have Captain of War. So I have Captain of War and I have Bilbo, so my army has 4 more health than it looks like. And he is attacking me with vampire, like to deal that extra damage. Now he hits normally, so yeah, he got 4 damage, which is a lot. And I got only 2, but I can remove leadership token, I can remove Bilbo, so he made no progress on my army, but he got 2 damage, so he is up to full damage. Every damage now kills him as soldier. So let's see what happens. He attacks me with great orcs. So he waited for, so I don't have leadership token. If he hits that maneuver die, it will hurt, and will hurt a lot. Okay, he didn't hit maneuver. Oh, sometimes it does feel unfair, you know. I'm still typing Gandalf is lucky because I would probably kill Gandalf to that. And yeah. And so he tries to make his soldiers survive, which is understandable. But he has no bodyguard tokens anymore. All are, so this is like normal army with free leadership and full damage. Very dangerous. Okay, what do we do? He still presses. Whoa, bold. Because of the dwarven veterans, I still have. Wait, no. Okay, yeah. Okay, so I run away. I lose 1 soldier because I need to adjust damage. Okay, now my action. I trigger my Gandalf to use concentration. Interesting. Yeah, because there are no more bodyguard tokens. The powerful shot will be powerful indeed. Oh, this is interesting. What is happening? I'm using a card to move 2 leadership. Nice. Okay, so I move 2 armies. This is interesting. And yeah, I move the elves to stand in front of the front gate. So they are front gate. And I move soldiers from Eastern Spur here to consolidate, and I have 2 big armies again. Wow, okay. Not a happy sight. Oh, this is interesting. Wow, okay. So he plays. Okay, usually there are no ways to attack with Master Die, with one exception. Each deck has 1 story card that is playable with Master Die that recruits and allows you to move or attack. So I thought that he really is inflexible, has like 1 attack left, so he's not that dangerous, but he places 2 orcs that heals him 4 damage from that army. So that army is strong and ready to go, and he can attack now my elves. Wow, okay, this is cool. Yeah, and now he thinks, does he want to assault and risk and maybe try for front gate? But then if it fails, I can mess his face. So he decided to play for the long game anyway, which is interesting because my southern part is empty. I don't have anything here. If he will outmaneuver me, he still can take lots of points, lots of strongholds here, and he doesn't need to fight for that. And I will need to run for him. And like this army, if he moves up, this is the strongest army. If it moves after him, my Eastern Spur is undefended, and he has soldiers here. If I don't move, this army is still very strong with a lot of leadership. Are those 2 soldiers with 2 recruitment tokens enough to defend? Probably not, I don't know. Okay, very cute maneuver. Playing for the long game, I can respect that. So I use Master Die to start recruiting. He used Master Die to... Oh, this is nice. Okay, he is using very rare to see Bulk's ability that if you control 2 free people strongholds, you can place 4 recruitment tokens anyway in the broken lands. So he is able to call in reinforcements, and it is cool usage. Yeah. Okay. So I said that master dice are inflexible, and he will have slow turn, but look at that. I mean, he managed to get some good stuff going, killing soldiers, recruiting and moving. Yeah, I like that. I do pass because I want to see what he's doing, and he is flipping. Okay, bulk is calling for reinforcements. I like that. Now I have tough enough to crack. I just retake. Here I retake camp and I move this soldier here, so at least I have something. Yeah. And what does he do? He moves soldiers in here. Okay, and that one guy here. Okay, yeah, okay. Next round, clearing. The issue is eagles are coming. They are, and I have dice. So this is the phase where the fact that I survived, my characters are coming in, and I will be stronger actually in game. I'll get strong characters. Recruitment phase is over more or less. So I got my dice from Thorin, and yeah, he didn't have that much advantage. So this is like desperation phase for Shadow. He needs to win very fast with some jumping for strongholds, maybe catching me off guard somewhere, maybe abusing the fact that Shadow is a little bit more mobile than 3 people. Okay. So, and Thorin gets second card. Okay. So if Thorin will join a fight, he will be very strong. We're rolling the die. Oh. Yeah, okay. I mean, Palantirs are good, but are they that good? Okay, this is a roll. This is the comeback potential for Shadow. I literally have no attacking card, which is, oh my, not what I wanted to see. Okay, I use Stand Rule to put a token, and I use Master Die to put soldiers out. This is very weak part. He can literally take all this and win the game if I don't retake it, so I need to stop that from happening. He uses Palantir, and he does what? Call to choose up to 2 friendly armies, move them up to 2 regions. Oh, okay, yeah. So he moves his armies, yeah, to take this. So my Raven Hill is in danger. I don't have soldiers here. If I don't move my soldiers in some way, he can attack and easily overpower 1 soldier in the fortress. And he will have 2, 4, 8 points, and Fallen Bridge with 1 soldier, it is 10 points. Okay. So he ran away from also my Empowered Gandalf shot. Okay, what do I do? Move 1 friendly army and attack with it. Okay, I move here. Now when I think it's it, I mean, that card says that I have to move and attack. Can I just move? I hope I do. I hope I didn't cheat. Yeah, but okay. Okay. But yeah, I try to defend, but it is not easy. I mean, I have fortification, which I'll probably explain when it will be attacked. But he doesn't have, he doesn't have the, anymore. How are they called? He doesn't have bodyguard tokens, but he still has 4 leadership. And he has a patsy. Okay. He is thinking and he is attacking. Okay. So, again, elves have this fortification, but they're very shitty at fighting in high hills. Despite, I mean, high hills sound like fitting for elves. And but he has great orc, so he has terrain superiority. Now, how does it work? Fortification has 3 health, this fortification. Whenever he attacks, he needs to roll 6s to do damage, not 5s. and the first 3 damage dealt goes into the fortification, not to my army. So my army is harder to hit, has more health, and until he breaks the fortification, if he breaks the fortification, the next round he can hit normally on 5s. So I have few rounds where I have advantage despite my army being weaker. So let's see what happens. Okay, I play Wood Elves, which makes sense. I have how many Wood Elves? 4 Wood Elves, so I hope to just expand this army. And he has Vampire-like, which is again very reasonable because additional hits means you need to roll that 1/6 less. Oh no. Okay, so he got 2 6s with bats. He broke the fortification in 1 turn. I didn't roll anything. Okay, so this is he got very unlucky somewhere in previous turns, but now it is his turn to go back. Okay, what do we do? I decided to run away, which is interesting. I mean, yeah, probably I decided I don't want to lose my soldiers in some extensive fight like that, so I decided to run away. But you cannot run away to a region that is adjacent to an enemy. So I don't have legal runaway regions. What happens then? Then triggers special rule that says that my opponent decides where I go, and I get 1 additional damage. So nasty stuff, but is it worth it? Maybe I should have fought him to the death here. I don't know. So he puts me in a corner of the map, hoping that I will be useless. Maybe I will. But my idea is, if he wants to go out and attack Fallen Bridge, I still have this army, right, to take it. So it is not that easy, shouldn't be that easy for him to decide what to do. So I use Palantir to draw 2 cards, and oh, this is cute. Okay, this card is not useful because it flips recruitment tokens, but and I don't have recruitment tokens. But this card is useful because place or flip. Okay, so actually these 2 in combination, I can place 3 recruitment tokens and flip them, but I don't know if I will have time. And yeah, I need to discard some cards, discard some useless card, and he is moving armies. Okay, he has 8 points. If he takes Fallen Bridge and I don't retake anything, he wins the game. But I have Elven Charge. I mean, I should be able to have some cards. Maybe I don't. This is scary. Maybe I don't have cards to do anything. Okay, I use Raging Trumpets. Choose up to 3 different settlements you control. In each of them, you may either flip a triple token or place new token. Okay, so yeah, I have recruitment die that doesn't have that much, so I put token here in 3 spots. So probably I'm thinking, yeah, I will do Mastering for Battle. Maybe I'll flip those. Yeah. So it puts a little bit of pressure on him that he needs to do something fast, or if not, oh yeah, I may recruit, right? It is funny. He wisely doesn't enter lower slopes, because if he would give me opportunity to move and attack and retake it. Sometimes you protect settlements but not having any soldiers there, which is very weird in this game, but what can you do? Okay, I use Palantir to do what? To do nothing yet. I use lucky number. Oh, yeah, okay, I played lucky number, so I am able to reroll dice, but I think it is illegal move. I think Bilbo is out of the game because he is not on the game board and he doesn't have any tokens. So I don't think. Oh yeah. Okay. That is good. HicSunt points out that it is illegal move. That he is dead. So I check the rules, and yeah, he's right. I'm not able to play that. So instead, I use Mastering for Battle to flip the tokens. I flip the tokens, and I flip the tokens. I flipped only 2 tokens, right? I didn't flip this one. Okay, I mean, yeah, it would heal this army for 1. Maybe I want to keep the token for the future, if the future will come. Okay, so this is interesting, because those 2 guys, how will he take it this turn? If yes, what does he want? How does he take it? How many soldiers does he have? Because, yeah, if he doesn't take, and like if he takes 2 low soldiers, I am able to retake Ravenhill, right? Okay, so what will he do? What will he do? He's thinking, and he's attacking, and he is leaving 1 soldier here, which is interesting. Okay. Blow the horns, fierce defense. I'm hitting only on 6s. He rolls 2 damage. I roll 0 damage. He presses. Do I fight? I keep fighting. Okay. I keep fighting because I just want to damage army with bulk to kill him. Oh, okay. Some lucky rolls for me. Nothing happens. He is killing. I cannot retreat from here really, because if I cannot retreat through the lake or adjacent to enemy army, so he would put me whenever he wants, dealing 1 more damage, which is killing this guy. So I'm just fighting to the death, and he takes that one. Okay. And now I mean, he had to try to go for this play. Oh, I didn't recruit. Yeah, I didn't have ties to recruit eagles, which is funny. If he doesn't go, he loses opportunity to, take the stronghold. So like, come on. But and he has to go to try for the place, right? Because maybe I will not have any attack. I think the only mistake that he did is that he should attack with the last die, because right now I have the card. I have Elven Charge. I pick an Elven army. I attack, and I count as having 5 leadership for the first round, and he cannot. Oh, that was smart. He has Dense Fog. If I will not score enough damage, he will break the fight, and he has 10 points. End of the round, he wins the game. Wow. But 1 soldier, maybe he should have left 2 soldiers and fight. Yeah, I don't know. Okay. But yeah, but I rolled. Yeah, okay. I rolled enough. I rolled enough damage. I mean, on 5 dice, what are the odds? And also, I just need to hit maneuver, so basically I need to roll 1 hit. I mean, smart plan, but I think he needed more than 1 soldier here for that. And he used master die. Yeah. For what did he do? He put a probably soldier somewhere, right? I don't know. Okay, let's speed it up a little bit. So, I have rescue, which is cool, recruitment. He's not lucky, number doesn't matter. And marching companies. Marching companies, yes, so I can move with Palantirs. Okay. So that's interesting, because he had unlucky turn that he was able to salvage with those master dice. I had a lucky turn, but I was able to salvage with my Palantirs. And I forgot about the activation of Dane to put down token. This is quite common actually, to forget about the generals, So yeah, he had opportunity, really decent opportunity to win the game. And let's see what happens. It was 2 with a card, Roaring Voice. It is a card that makes Bjorn stronger, which is cool if he will join this game. And but yeah, he decided, what, North is untakeable, which is reasonable. I mean, in the fortification with free leadership, those armies enough to hold like 4 or 5 soldiers. And oh, replay finished. I guess we were talking. I think he conceded in the end, from what I understand. It's a shame we didn't play out to the end, but you know, to be honest, I have 2 big armies. I have the rescue that allows me to heal an army and put another token here, so I have 3 armies. It would be hard for him to not only take the points, but simply even hold the points that he has. And then, you know, Eagles join the battle, Bjorn join the battle soon. So, yeah, understandable. Still, wild things can happen. Maybe I should have watched the replay previously, like to make sure that it has a proper rating, but I think the game was still cool. I think at this point, 3 people have clear and really big advantage, unless some weird rolls would happen. But Shadow player, yeah, has still some odds. I mean, he took 2 settlements in the same region, which gave him an extra die, so it is 7 dice to 6. So there is some combat potential. He has some soldiers here. Bulk is damaged. I mean, I can try killing Bulk. My armies here are free to do whatever. So yeah. Most probably I would have won that game, but even then, it is cool to see the ending. So, what do you think about this game? Uh, did I go to basics, enough basics for you to follow, as let's say fellow War of the Ring player? Obviously, if someone is not familiar with nor Battle of Five Armies nor War of the Ring, there's no way they understand what is happening. But was it understandable what is happening, at least on a basic level, what actions we're doing what? Because if yes, then next game I will try to pick some more strategic, when I will be explaining on a big picture, you know, why armies move where, what are the tricks, what both sides try to accomplish or threaten. So let me know how you liked it and in which direction you would prefer to go. Keep it like basic or go a little bit more broad strategy and maybe more advanced. And for now, thank you for watching and have a good day.